Today is World Autism Awareness Day, and Chicago is just one of hundreds of cities around the world lighting up blue to promote the understanding and acceptance of children and adults with autism. So joining us this morning to talk more about that, I should say, from Autism Speaks is Tamara Golden. Thanks so much for coming in this morning. It's nice to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I was just telling Tamara, when I drove in this morning, it was very dark outside, but it was so beautiful to see all of our city buildings lit up with blue. So tell us what this Lighted Up Blue campaign is all about.
Sure. So Lighted Up Blue is an Autism Speaks campaign. It starts on World Autism Day, which is today, and it kicks off the whole month of programming and lights, all to support people on the spectrum and really to show all of our families that we love them and accept them, and just to raise awareness of autism.
So what year is it that you guys have been doing this? Is this the first or second year you've been doing this?
Actually, Lighted Up Blue started in about 2007.
Oh, so it's been a little while. And
yes.
We're looking at some video of some of the places that are taking part. Tell me, it's not just Chicago. Where else in the world are we seeing these things?
It's an international campaign, so actually 150 different countries throughout the world participate in Lighted Up Blue. 15,000 different buildings and landmarks participate.
And it looks like I saw the pyramid and the Empire State Building. And when people in Chicago are driving around, what blue buildings are we going to notice?
Yeah, so all the major landmarks and buildings in Chicago are participating. Wrigley Field, Soldier Field, Water Tower Place, the CME Building, Board of Trade,
Navy Pier. I saw that this morning.
The Ferris wheels lit up. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, very nice. And in addition to the Light Up Blue, are there any special events that are also going on that families can take part in?
Great question. Yes, that's one of our big pushes this year, is to get a lot of sensory-friendly family events throughout the month. So actually today, Brookfield Zoo and Lincoln Park Zoo is having Zoos Go Blue. The Children's Museum is having the Children's Museum on Navy Pier is having a great event on April 8th. And at the end of the month, we have our North Shore Walk, which is April 30th for all of our families. And then again in May is our Chicago Walk at Soldier Field.
Okay. You know, while we have you here, Autism Speaks, you guys have been a great voice for the autism community. Maybe there's somebody who's watching at home this morning that has gotten a new diagnosis and, you know, not sure how to handle it or what to do. What's your best advice to give the families out there who may be dealing with this for the first time?
Sure. Well, early intervention is the best thing that we can do. So the earlier you can get a diagnosis and get started with therapy, the better. I always advise families to call our ART team, which is an autism response team hotline. You can go to autismspeaks.org to get the phone number. And we have toolkits and we have advice for every family at any stage of life.
And probably the best advice is there's help, right?
There is
You can
help.
Deal with this.
Yes, absolutely. And your child or adult can have a really wonderful life.
I think that's an important point to get across. Okay, so you're talking to the families who might have had a new diagnosis. What about those of us who do not have anybody with autism in our family? What do you want us to know about families and children with autism?
Sure. I think the best thing to do is to be non-judgmental to people on the spectrum. A lot of families do not go out in public or do not go to restaurants or museums because they're afraid that people are going to judge them. So that's something that we really push this month, is to have non-judgmental places where our families can go.
And you want us to be aware of that.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I love, we were just talking about this before we went on camera, is the new character on Sesame Street, Julia. She is making her debut, and she has autism. This is a big game changer, isn't it?
It really is, because people can start out very young, being totally aware of differences, and that children and adults might have differences, but they're just like us, and we can be friends with them, and we can love them, and they can just, you know, be totally normal in society.
So is this something you've been touched with your families after you got involved?
Yes.
Yeah. So what is your personal experience and what's your goal now with this?
One of my family members is on the spectrum, but my goal is really just that that children and adults could just not be afraid to go into museums and into places like restaurants and everything like that, and that people can be friends with people on the spectrum and know that they are really just like us, and also that they can have jobs and live really fulfilling lives.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming in and joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And a great way to raise awareness. And again, your website, if people want more information, autismspeaks.org.